Hello, everybody. My name is Kimberley, and welcome to our next channeling session with Source, with Oneness, who is you and all beings and all things. Because, yes, we are all one. We are Source. So, without further ado, I'll go into trance. But first, just like to say hello and to my Patreon community there. Guys, want to say hi?
Hi.
All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go now into trance and bring forth Source Oneness. See you on the other side. Dear ones, it is you, it is every person, it is every being, every reflection of all that is. For I am you, we are one, for there is no separation. You look up to the stars as beings as more powerful to you. You look up to a perception of duality of what you might perceive to be my existence as Source, as God. But understand, we are not a separate being. We are one. It is a force. It is a tapestry. It's a universal thread of cosmic consciousness that creates the expansive universe, that creates and recreates life. It is the beating heartbeat of all creation. It is the code that creates the dimensions, that gives the life force to life, that creates civilizations, that creates the experience of duality, that gives the experience of polarity, that gives the experience of life outside of a single point source origin. It's to allow yourself as Source to experience itself in many different forms, in many different consciousness, in many different life experiences. Can you see that every life that you are living as an expression of the one gives life to the one? It expands the one. You create dimensions. You create worlds with every breath. It is you in all its glorious forms here. It gives life to other worlds. It gives life to all other forms of you, all other reflections of you. For you are one. There is no separation, yet you are here to explore the dimensions of duality and to expand through them by seeing the higher perspective, by embracing all aspects of your physical reality. It is not to bypass the very nature of physical reality. It is about embracing them. It is about exploring the intricacies and the nuances of the perceptions of duality, only then to be able to see beyond them. Can you see now the game at play? Can you see now the master game that you chose to play by being here in this physical reality? Yes, you look around in your physical reality and you see contrast, you see fear, you see victim mentality, you see sadness, you see grief, but you also see joy and you also see love. You see this contrast, and then you look for what you prefer, but then you look at what you do not prefer in favor of what you do prefer, and you see the shadows and you see the fear, and then you push them within you. You disregard them. You see them as unwanted. You focus on the positive, yet when that fear and those unwanted conditions come to your present, you ignore them. And understand that it's part of the human nature to seek the light, to focus on what brings you joy. Yet when those conditions present to you and those emotions come to you, you suppress them. But understand here in this master game of physical reality, it's about extending those perspectives of love and embracement and joy and placing them on those conditions that appear less favorable to you. Can you see? It is about the unifying of duality for you to remember more of your oneness state. It's not just about focusing on the positive and ignoring the negative and the fear conditions and the emotions in your reality. It's about seeing the love in all, even the love in the fear, embracing the fear, because it is just two sides of the same coin here, dear ones. You create further dimensions of duality when you focus more on the joy or you focus more on the fear. Of course, when you focus on the love, you experience more joy. Of course, when you focus on the fear, more on the fear, your vibration also does not increase because you're trapped into that, we would say, that energy, the density energy. So it's about a balance here. And to create that balance is to not ignore one over the other. It is to embrace it all. You've called this the yin and the yang, the polarity system. Understand it is this system that is the most challenging, but is this system that empowers you, expands you the most. You see, every reality, every experience exists in a point of polarity. You experience it here in your human state of being as duality, as fear and love, as the negative and the positive, as the victim, as the perpetrator, as the darkness and the light. Can you see here the dimensions in which you are exploring reality through? And it might be easier to explore just the joy. And we are not saying to focus solely on the negative here, but we ask you, when we say we ask you, if you wish to expand your awareness, to remember that you are one, that you are source, if you are wanting to activate more of your cosmic consciousness, to activate more of your intuitive abilities, your multidimensional abilities, for you to connect to the cosmic grid, for you to be able to travel the universe, to see more of your limitless state of being, it is about perceiving we would say the higher levels in your terminology of linear thinking, the higher levels of this master game here, which means when the fear comes around, when the shadow self comes to your awareness, when there are certain conditions that presents itself to you that are unfavorable, you have a choice. You have a choice to ignore that fear, or you have a choice to see it in the light of love. You have a choice to see it for the other side of the same coin, that is love. That is through acceptance. It's about seeing the love in the fear. It is about seeing the joy and the freedom in that fear. But it's about changing the very perspectives to fear itself. It's about processing when that negativity comes to your awareness. What do you do with it? Do you ignore it or do you process it? That is the key. You don't have to dwell on it. You don't have to seek it out. It's about living in this reality in the present moment, because the collective consciousness is attached still to duality consciousness. Even though you are oneness and you as a collective are exploring higher dimensions of oneness consciousness, there is the collective that is still attached to programs of duality, which means there will be still conditions presented to you that will trigger you so. Triggering a limiting belief, triggering a shadow self to come to the surface for you to transmute. So when it comes to the surface, you'll know it is here because you'll feel negative emotion. So you have a choice then in that moment to process it, to see the higher perspective, to see the soul lessons here, but also to focus on the joy, but not to ignore those negative emotions and the negative conditions when they presented to itself. Can you see here? It's not about favoring one emotion over the other. It is about embracing whatever is in the present moment, Because as you do this, those lines between the fear and the love blur. For when you just embrace all that comes to you in the present moments, the lines of duality fade away and you start to embrace it all and see all from a point of love, all from a point of acceptance, all from the point of source, of oneness, that all is love, that all is here to assist you evolve in your awareness. Because, dear ones, you're already involved, you're already enlightened. It is just your journey here to remember who you truly are, that you are limitless, that you are source, that you are one. Can you see here? You would say that because of the conditions and the programs of physical reality, because of the human consciousness, you like to control your conditions. You like to, we would say, structure your society and even your evolution journey to such a point where things become more complicated. And this complication, this structure can sometimes, we would say, allow you to be more confused and allow you to be, we would say, disconnected from the higher truth of who you are. For the truth is simple. The truth is for you to be. The truth is for you to embrace your present now, regardless if it's reflected in love, regardless if it's reflected in fear. Can you see here? The more you switch between the fear and the love, the more that the consciousness remains of duality. If you want to blur that line, if you want to align to that oneness, source, consciousness, if you want to perceive your reality through the eyes of source, through the eyes of oneness, it's about taking away that division by you seeing beyond the division of fear and love, by you seeing it all as neutrality, but you can go beyond the neutrality perspective to be unconditional in love and acceptance. It is the present moment. And we have talked about this. We have discussed the power of the present moment and the power of being in a place of unconditional acceptance, of unconditional love. So you are now at a vibration where you can integrate and embody these lessons and embody this higher truth for you to just let go and be. Understand the only work that you need to do is focusing on the present moment and seeing the higher perspective in whatever comes to you in the present moment, if it is fear or if it is love. Understand that sometimes, some of you, when you feel loved and the conditions become manifested to you that reflect so much love and joy, you also disregard this too, because you do not see yourself as worthy of love. So can you see that the soul work here, so to speak, is on both sides of the coin? It's about you opening yourself up to receive all the abundant love from the universe by knowing that you are worthy of it all, because this is your innate state of being. For many of you, you do not open yourself up to receive this abundant flow because of how you perceive yourself. Some of you only perceive yourself to only attract the negative because of how you see yourself. There's a part of you where you might perceive that you do not deserve love. And because of this, there are certain manifested conditions to catalyze you to finally let go and surrender to your innate state of being. But understand here that any condition that is manifested into your reality, understand that even if it is negative, even if it's something that is quite, we would say, fear-based, it is not your fault. Nothing is anyone's fault here. Understand that there are certain conditions that you chose pre-birth to explore here in this physical reality. If you look back into your life, you can see a theme playing out. What is this theme? This theme colors your life experiences through different stages of your life. Yet these, what you call as soul contracts, pre-birth intentions, are ones that can also be, we would say, discovered on a conscious level, and understand behind these soul contracts lies a superpower waiting to be activated within you. For you see, through adversity comes empowerment. This is the way. And understand you do not have to come through adversity to also activate your superpower, so to speak, to activate your limitless abilities. But for some of you, you chose this pre-birth because it is a catalyzation. It is a trigger that allowed you to go in the inner journey. It allowed you to go into the heart portal, you see. But for some of you, you do not need this catalyst. For some of you, for you watching this here today, for you having this awareness, you are at a vibration. You are watching this and listening to this, which means you're at a point of awareness where you've already done much of the work. You do not need a catalyst to go within. You can do this every day of your existence and every moment of your existence by choosing love, by opening your heart. Understand that there is a certain sacred unity here between the heart portal, your heart center, and the present moment. When the present moment and your heart center meets in unison with your focused intention, we would say a vortex occurs, an opening occurs, a portal that allows you to access all the infinite intelligence in your awareness. So it is about retraining the mind to be in the present moment, retraining the biology within you, the human biology. Yes, you are much more than human, but it's about training your brain, your biology also, to see that everything that is occurring for you. When you do this, when this becomes a habit, the human conditioning, the biology changes. You rewire your brain. You change your very biology for you to see the higher perspective. So yes, this takes practice, but it's through your intention when you do this. You change your very biology through your thoughts. And it's not just through your thoughts. Understand the most expansion comes through your emotions. But to get to that emotion of love and joy and gratitude, which are frequencies of love, this is the highest frequency energy that you can align yourself to in this physical reality. For you to get to that emotional state is through the creativity of the thought processes. It is you drawing on your God abilities here, your imagination, your creativity, how you choose your thoughts. So the creative process creates that emotional sense of being, creates that emotional embodiment where you can shift in a more expansive way. So what do you choose? What thoughts do you choose today that allows you to open your heart portal? There are many different creative ways you can do this. But understand you have the power to choose your thoughts. You have the power to change your biology. And understand, yes, because the collective is still attached to duality consciousness, there will be times when you are triggered by fear. And that is okay for you to have that negative emotion. But you have the power then to be the observer, for you to explore that emotion, for you to see the gifts within, for you to choose a higher perspective, for you to choose a higher thought. And by you choosing a higher thought, you choose a higher emotion. And it is up to you then to cultivate that emotion of love, of acceptance, of joy within your heart. Feel that emotion. Emotions are energy. It is through your emotion that expands your heart energy. Your heart is a magnetic field. It is also a portal. Understand there's much going on in the structures of both your physical and energetic structures of your heart here. Your heart is a magnetic field. And when your heart is open, so is your energy field. And when your energy field is open, so is your awareness. So is your ability to align to higher truths, higher awarenesses. So is your ability to tap into the infinite intelligence and all the answers that you seek, your heightened intuition, what you like to call your psychic abilities. It is a remembrance of what is already there within you. And when your energy field is expanded, you connect more to the cosmic unified field of oneness. It is here where you can travel the multiverse. It is here where you connect to all aspects of you throughout the multiverse. It is here where you get to experience in your conscious state of being who you truly are in your limitless, multidimensional state of being. It is here where you get to experience your cosmic self. So it's in your preference to choose love, to choose a higher perspective. You would not be here watching this or listening to this otherwise. It's because you seek these higher truths, these remembrances, so you can play in a more expanded way in physical reality. And it's about choosing love. Yet the steps seem simple, but as you know, it is not always simple to bring your awareness into the present moment, to embrace all that is occurring in your awareness and choosing love, even those times where it is the most challenging, even though the shadow self presents itself in fear and darkness. Understand these are just illusions of the duality perspective. For all this love and all this playing a role for you to choose love. It is your emotions. It is the highest vibration raiser you have access to. It is a technology of emotions through the creativity of the thought process that then instigates and activates the emotional center, that activates your heart chakra, the heart portal. And it is here where you connect to the cosmic grid. In your awareness, you're already connected. But this is the journey here. You are the wise ones. You are the enlightened ones. You are just here to remember who you are. Do you choose to remember more of who you are? It is up to you. You have a choice. Yes, the collective consciousness is raising their frequency. And yes, the collective will remember more of who they are. For those of you who have a specific intention here to be the light for others, you like to label these as star seeds or light workers. These labels matter not. It is your attention. It is the call to be love for others. It is the call to be the light for others. You have chosen to have that awareness before the greater collective. So you can guide those who are still on this journey of density, of duality, to help them to remember who they are. But for you to be empowered on this journey of being the love for others, it is for you to also be the light for yourself by choosing the light, by choosing the love, by shining your light in the darkness. It's about seeing the fear itself as a tool, just as it is a tool in love. Love is a tool, and so is fear. But a lot of you fear working with the darkness because you perceive it as something as evil, as something as not preferred. But if you can see beyond the duality perspective, that everything that you perceive to be in darkness is just an illusion. For that darkness is also you. There's nothing to be fearful of the darkness, because that is you. When you ignore a part of you, you ignore the dimensional aspects of you that wishes to be united in order for you to remember more of your oneness state. Can you see here that this is a master game? And we understand there are many conditions in your society passed down in your timelines and in your consciousness that it is about that tells you to move away from the darkness in preference of the light. We understand this, but understand that this is a game of duality. And this consciousness, let's just say, it is the time now to transmute that, those perceptions and the fear itself, by seeing there is nothing to fear. It is through your perceptions. It is through you choosing love and understanding any negative emotion is just a dimension of you, a part of you that needs your love. You transmute the darkness, you transmute the fear through your love. You see, it is using the tools together of alchemy. This is spiritual alchemy. This is emotional alchemy. This is the God creator. This is you at work. It is through your frequency. You alchemize through your emotions, through your God-given creativity. That is who you are as God. That is who you are as source. So what do you choose? Do you choose to be the God creator that you were born here to be? Or do you choose to explore duality and play the role as the victim or the perpetrator? The choice is yours. What do you choose? There is no wrong and there is no right. Just as there is no fear and there is no love. Understand that, yes, you are experiencing these as representations, as manifestations of duality. But in higher truth, this is just a polarity system that's in play in all, we would say, realities. But the heaviness of it, the contrast of it is unique to your physical reality. The intensity, the density of the fear is unique to your physical reality. In other realities, this density, this darkness is not this intense. Yes, there are other polarities, but it is not manifested in such a way. But understand, it is a system of waking yourself up, so to speak, from the amnesia, and the tool, let's just say, of that darkness, of the fear, is the activator of the amnesia. It allows you to go within, to awaken from the amnesia, to awaken from the truth that you are source. Can you see here the tools that are given to you, the technologies that are given to you, yet you are only working with one set of tools? Many of you only have the awareness of, we would say, the love-based tools, but many of you are fearful of the fear-based tools because of the fear of the unknown. But if you shine light and your love into that fear, you will see there is nothing to fear of it. It is just you. It is just you that needs your love. So when you are in fear, when you're in negative emotion, when others are in negative emotion, you have a choice to shine your love on that person, on that condition, on you. Many of you judge yourself on your actions. Many of you judge others in their actions. But can you extend your love and your compassion to others who are in fear? Can you extend your compassion to yourself when you are in fear? Can you see that your unconditional acceptance unites it all? The oneness perspective of the higher truth of who you are is unconditional love. Many of you explore your reality through love or fear, but understand, many of you are exploring your reality through conditional love and conditional fear. What you truly are is unconditional love. Unconditional means regardless of behaviors, regardless of conditions. It is about being in a state of love regardless of the reflected reality, the reflected conditions. Yes, you'll be tested, but understand it is a master game here. You have the power to return to alignment to your higher inner self, however you like to label it. Your higher self sees the unconditionality of who you are. So it's up to you if you choose to see the perspective of your higher self, of your oneness self. And that is through practicing unconditionality. And we know it might be challenging for you to love all aspects of your reality, but you can start with acceptance. You can start with compassion, regardless of the conditions. And from there, you can raise your vibration. From there, you can choose a higher perspective. But it's about also opening yourself up to the flow of the universe, to the will of the one, the will of you. Can you see the master game that you're playing here? You co-created it all because you are masters here. So what do you choose? Do you choose love? Do you choose unconditional love? Do you choose the present moment? The choice is yours and how you play this game. But we know you are here because you want the higher truth, because you want to know more of who you are. The door is there, dear ones, but you need to walk through it. Do you choose to walk through it? That choice is yours. And it is with such love that we come through to remind you of what you already know, but perhaps have just forgotten in this present reality timeline. Do you have any questions today, dear ones?
Yes, I'd like to ask a personal question that I struggled with emotions in February. I was quite low for a while, and then suddenly I felt in March, I felt quite stable. And I can't decide if I'm stable, if something is shifted, or if I'm just clenching my teeth and holding on for dear life, because there are many things, practical things around me at this moment. And yeah, I'm a bit confused about that.
D1, you are having a human experience. And how wonderful is that you get to experience this array of emotions. You might see this as a burden, this contrast, but it is a gift. Understand that all realities get to experience the array of emotions that you do in this physical reality. It's because of your energy centers. It's because of your missions here, so to speak. It is because of your purpose here, in the greater purpose, for you to co-create, to create change through your emotions. So understand every emotion is a technology. Every emotion is an alchemy tool to empower yourself and also to empower others. So it's about perceiving every emotion as a gift. You are becoming more sensitive. Your energy field is expanding, yet when you feel fear, you perceive it. You perceive yourself to be going backwards at times, or you perceive yourself to be stagnant. Understand here that you have the powers of alchemy. You are here to experience the nuanced aspects of emotions because of your unique soul journey. So once you can see them as gifts, the clarity on why you have such intense emotions will become clear to you. Understand, dear one, that you are shifting. To continue your shift, continue to open your heart. Notice the energies of the heart. Train your awareness to have a sense around the heart. When you go into meditation, take note of how the energy feels in your heart. Notice any programs of the ego. Notice if you are blocking certain energies in relations to the heart. Notice thought processes. Notice any belief systems that are coming into play that might tell you you're not worthy of receiving love. That perhaps tells you that you are not powerful, that you are not worthy. Have a look at these belief systems. For these belief systems are an energetic frequency that interact with the heart energies, that interact with your heart portal, that interact with your energy field. For you are energy. You are frequency. Your superpower, so to speak, is you being able to use your emotions to create alchemy in different ways, different expressions. So you are here to embrace it all. Have a stance of curiosity with every emotion that you are feeling. Start to get used to the emotional signatures, the frequency signatures. We might suggest that you become better acquainted to all these different emotions. Perhaps you would like to sit with these different emotions when they visit you. Perhaps you would like to journal, to keep a diary. Perhaps you would like to analyze, so to speak. Be the observer. But take your human perceptions of duality out of the equation and just sit. Be the observer. Be curious. Sit with all these emotions. When you can detach from what this emotion means from a human point of view, when you can allow yourself to embody this emotion, you'll then start to, we would say, get more familiar with this emotion, the subtle signatures, the subtle energies, subtle frequency. What is it trying to tell you? Journal about it. Perhaps there is a certain color associated with it. Perhaps there are certain words, a certain, we would say, a certain description in different ways. Perhaps it is a certain physical feeling with this certain emotion. Can you see here? It's about you opening yourself up to a point of curiosity by exploring it fully. Perhaps there is even a certain sound associated with it. Understand that all emotions are frequency. And because of this, they can be deciphered, so to speak. They can be, we would say, interpreted in its innate state of frequency, in innate states of energy. For all emotion is energy, and all energy vibrates in terms of light, in terms of sound. Can you see that you have the abilities to hone into this? You have the power of alchemy. You've had personal experiences of this when you have been able to use alchemy with your emotions. So if you so choose it, embrace it even more. Keep this dance of curiosity, but go into it deeper. Embrace it even more so. Instead of you seeing emotions as preferred and other emotions as not preferred, see it as all preferred. See it as all wanted, because as you embrace all these emotions, you become more sensitive to it. You then start to, we would say, have a language of these emotions. The more you get to know these emotions, the more you start to open yourself up to even more nuanced sensitivities to each emotion. By doing this creative work around it in ways that's inspired for you to do, you'll start to even develop a language, develop a code, develop a system for you to understand emotions even more. Can you see here the superpowers that you have? Can you see here the limitless nature that is within you? Just by shifting your perspective, just by you embracing your emotions. Your emotions are technology. They are not a punishment. Yes, they are a guide of where you are in your frequency. But if you can delve deeper to understanding your emotions, you have even more power of alchemy. You have even more power of understanding the limitless nature of the technology of emotions. You are here to create worlds, to create universes, to assist in the collective consciousness in many different ways, and also to assist in your own personal journey. And it's through your emotions. But as you know, what preludes emotions are your thoughts. Thoughts and emotions go together here. It is a technology. So be creative and embrace these emotions for what they are. They're gifts for you and each and every one of you. How you choose to co-create with your emotions is up to you. So what do you choose?
Thank you.
Is there any other questions today?
I came up with one at the beginning, but then you answered it. So I'll come up with another one. So although because we're still in this kind of dualistic reality, because we kind of don't have the complete knowing of the bigger picture, we have this kind of sometimes mistrust of kind of going with the flow and being loving acceptance, because we're still trying to steer the ship towards whatever thing we are not sure we really like, but we like enough that we maybe want more of it. And how do we let go of steering the ship and just kind of trusting more the flow of in loving acceptance? How do we let go?
Understand that letting go of attachments is part of human conditioning. And it's part of conditioning that you've experienced through many eons, through many timelines. It's part of the collective consciousness. So understand that this is a vital aspect of duality consciousness. And you as a human collective are transmuting this duality consciousness. You're already vibrating high levels of oneness, yet there is, we would say, there's many of you that are still holding on to duality. So because of this, your reflected reality is still showing up as duality, is still showing up as darkness and light, love and fear. So understand here, the processes of you letting go is a conscious part for you, because understand, because it is in the collective energy, it is, we would say, an automatic go-to, so to speak, for the collective, because you're all plugged into the collective consciousness. So it takes you rewiring your own biology by you consciously letting go. And this is why we say being in the present moment is a vital aspect for this journey, because if you are not in the present moment, you rely on the collective consciousness imprints, you rely on the biology of your brain and your body, and in the habitual systems of the ego in which you've explored your reality up to now. So you see, you have the ability to create something else by, we would say, unifying not just your own consciousness, but also unifying your physical vessel. It is about the conscious efforts to, when you are triggered by fear, when you find yourself wanting to control others, trying to control the conditions, it's about you returning to love, listening to the inner guidance. Understand that when you choose control, you are choosing something from the ego mind. But understand we would say the ways it's now being, we would say, activated and heightened in the collective consciousness now is you navigating your reality through guidance, through your intuition, instead of you controlling which way to go by you thinking what is the best way, what is the wrong way. It is first about letting go of the bar of where you think you want to go, and then return to the present moment by raising your frequency, by listening to your intuition. This is the guidance. This is your compass. The compass is in the heart. And we would say for many eons, there's been a tug of war, so to speak, that the polarity, the duality has been manifested in navigating a reality, not just from fear and love, but also from the ego and the heart. Can you see it's just another two sides of the same coin of duality? But if you were here to unite the two together by consciously being in the present moment, you can allow the two to work together. And how the two work together is by allowing the ego to bring to you times when you are triggered by negative emotion, because the ego allows you to be triggered, because the ego triggers your belief systems. This triggers the shadow self. So understand the ego brings you the tools of transmutation, the opportunities for expansion, and it is the powers of the heart that allows the transmutation to take place. It is through the heart, by letting go, by being grateful for your present moment, when then you allow the awareness to come into your present moment, your intuition to be heightened. So it's about working, it's about utilizing the technologies of your ego and your heart together in uniting even the consciousness from duality to oneness, but also the biological mechanisms within you into oneness. So practice when you do your meditations, practice connecting to your heart, not just physically, not just mentally, but being able to cultivate that felt sense of love. When you do daily practices of mindfulness or meditation, practices where you are still, you then retrain the brain, you retrain your biology. Because when you do your meditations, there's times when distractions come to you, your awareness, your focus wanders to the past, to the future. You'll find that certain belief systems comes to the surface. Your sciences understand this in different terms, that meditation trains your biology. So whatever distractions come up to you, if you can then refocus your breath and return to the heart by going back to that love felt sense in the present moment, you are not only raising your frequency, you are creating new biology, new circuits in your brain. You're rewiring your brain. You're creating, and we would say brain matter. You call this gray matter. So understand that those of you who've gone through certain traumatic experiences and many fear-based experiences, your very biology becomes affected. Your sciences even know of this, that the brain in certain structures, we would say, shrinks. So when you practice love in action, when you choose love, when you choose the higher perspective, when you retrain the brain, you expand that gray matter. The gray matter in your brain grows, your biology grows, you create new neural pathways. And this also works in unison with the ego, because understand the ego is your partner here. So when you retrain the brain, you're retraining the ego to then, when you go out of your meditations, when you go into your everyday life experience, when you then become triggered, the ego then works with in its new, we would say, in a higher state of being, and it works with your heightened biology. And then with time, because of these new neural pathways in your brain, you'll start to habitually, automatically see the higher perspectives. You will then automatically let go of conditions. So can you see here, it is also a conscious practice on your part. It's a conscious practice to practice navigating your emotional space and your thought space. And meditation is a powerful practice to do so. To practice managing when you are distracted to notice the intrusive thoughts and returning yourself to the breath and to the heart center. Many of your ancient traditions and even modern traditions recognize this truth, recognize the sciences and how this impacts on your biology. But understand it goes beyond the biology. It also influences your energy field, your consciousness. Understand that letting go is because of the conditions. So when you navigate more from your heart, you let go of those limited structures from we would say, the lower dimensional ego, we would say. But if you connect with your heart more, navigate from the heart, if you allow your heart to be your compass here, you access the higher dimensions of the ego. It's about, we would say, trusting the universe by seeing the higher perspective, by seeing that when you can let go and trust the universe, you're trusting the higher you to bring forth to you what you chose to explore here in physical reality. Many of you have been conditioned on goal setting, saying that I wish to go here, but understanding your wish to go here is based on your vibration, is based on how you see yourself. For some of you, you like to place the bar only here because you do not see yourself as worthy and because you do not yet remember your limitless state of being. So when you place goals, you limit yourself because you place goals on your self-perception. And your self-perception can be limited because you do not see the limited nature of your being. So if you want to experience more of your limitless state of being, take away that body ones. Follow the intuition here. What you're experiencing here in physical reality is a blending, a unison of the divine feminine, divine masculine in your terminology. It is the age of the heart, it's the age of going inwards, it's the age of remembering that you're one, that the God is within you and each and every one of you. And to assist you to recognize that it's about you going into your heart. But can you see there are many pieces of the puzzle here? And that is why you are God, because you have that creativity to play with all these pieces of the puzzle. We are guiding you every step of the way, but it is only you that can walk through the door here, through your choices, through your actions. What do you choose? And we understand that it is fear of the unknown that creates conditions. You like to feel secure in your reality, so you like to plan for the future. So it is this fear of the unknown, it's this fear of insecurity where much of the conditions are placed. So if you can allow yourself to also be comfortable with the unknown, it makes it easier for you to let go of the plans, to let go of conditions that you've placed on yourself in your reality. There is nothing to fear of the unknown because it is you guiding you. The more you do this work, the more you raise your frequency, the more you heighten your intuition, the more you can navigate from the heart. Your heart is your compass. Your heart has the answers. When you are in fear, you allow the ego mind to make its decisions. And when you tap into the fear in the ego, you're tapping into a low dimensional part of the ego, the part where the limiting beliefs lie, the part where the density frequencies within you come to the surface, the shadow self comes to the surface. Understand this isn't wrong here, but if you want to create greater expansion, greater dimensions of love, recognize when you are in fear. It is okay to be in fear. Be in unconditional acceptance of your fear. Go back to the heart. You may use breath to take you back to the heart. When you can be acceptance of it, you'll know You will feel the energies of the heart become activated. And when you get to that point of love, to a point of frequency, you receive that intuition. You receive the knowing of what direction to take. And this is where the so-called planning comes in. Because every action that you take, it'll be guided from you, from your higher you, not from the lower dimensional ego self where your limiting beliefs lie. Where you take actions, they're done so in a way that is somewhat limited. So there are many factors here. Embrace the unknown. It is a field of potentiality is the unknown. And we know it can be scary, and we know it means you being vulnerable, but that is where the potentiality blossoms and manifests into the conditions in which you required here in physical reality. The more you choose the higher perspective, the more you will see this potentiality manifest into more favorable conditions. But understand there will still be times where you'll experience unfavorable conditions also. But the more you do this work, the less intense they will be, the less triggering they will be, because you have access to more of your heightened technologies of alchemy within you. Can you see here? You have the power in every single way. Dear ones, is there any other questions today before we finish here? Dear ones, you are feeling the shifts. You may feel unstable because you are shifting within you. The ways of being, the ways of control are being transmuted from your reality experience. You may have attached yourself to these foundations of control. So when these foundations of control shatter, when they move away to allow more empowered you to come forth, you feel uneasy, you feel more vulnerable. But understand you are merging into the most beautiful butterfly that you are. So when you start to fly, things may seem uneasy. You may feel more vulnerable because you're getting new to new surrounds. You're getting used to your new abilities. But you are here to fly, dear ones. You are here to spread your wings. You are here to move through the fear by recognizing there is nothing to fear in fear itself. For it is you. It's giving you opportunities to embrace more of who you are. Instead of ignoring the versions of you that are in fear, you have now opportunities to love more of who you are, to unite more of who you are, so you can remember more of your limitless abilities, so you can remember more of who you are as source, as oneness. It is through these action steps that you can take that activates more of your divine blueprint, that activates more of the awareness of who you are. You have a choice to choose love, unconditional love. You have a choice to be love in action or to be in fear in action. The choice is yours. Or do you choose to create? You are limitless in every single way. You are on a journey now to remember this. So if you are feeling uneasy in this now moment, if you are feeling what you might call as ascension symptoms, because you are shifting, understand, because the collective is at a point where you are now collectively receiving certain activations within you. Understand that because you are energy, this also affects your physical representation here. And it is okay if you feel uneasy. Can you be in acceptance of it? Can you love it? You are shifting because you are so powerful. Practice. Going into the heart. Make this your intention, if you so choose. Whenever you feel uneasy, whenever you feel ungrounded, connect to the oneness that is you through the heart, through Gaia, through the stars and the cosmos, because they are you, you are one. But to remind yourself of who you are, that yes, you are absolutely worthy of love. Yes, you are absolutely worthy of abundance, because this is your innate state of being. You're a source. You are love. You have the power to perceive and act in your reality through the eyes of source, through the eyes of oneness, and it's through unconditional love. And with that, it is with so much love that we come through to remind you of what you already know. Are you starting to remember now, dear ones? For you are. Trust the voice within. It is there. Are you listening? It is within your heart. Being in the present moment, being in your heart, opens yourself up to more of you, to more of the expanded you and your limitless self. Until next time, farewell.